Welcome back to At the Field's Edge. I'm Rowan Lund. It's the 1st of May, or near enough to it that the land doesn't know the difference. The hawthorn's white, the light is long, and something in the air has shifted in a way that's difficult to name but impossible to miss. Beltane, May Day, the gateway to summer. Today I want to tell you some stories, not history, not exactly. The deep history of Beltane is thinner than we might wish. The sources are fragmentary and sometimes contested, but the folklore is another matter. The folklore is rich and strange and alive and is carried in communities across Britain for longer than anyone can fully trace, and in some places it's carried still. I've chosen 3 stories from 3 different parts of Britain: Cornwall, Scotland and Wales. 3 landscapes, 3 traditions, each with its own character and mood. But as I came to know them better, I found the same thing running beneath all 3, a kind of insistence, an understanding older than writing that summer doesn't simply arrive on its own, that the turning of the year asks something of us. So let's begin in the dark on a Cornish street the night before May Day. Before the Oss comes, there is the dark. On the night before May Day, in the small fishing town of Padstow on the North Cornish coast, the singing begins. In the streets, in the darkness, moving from door to door, the night song, voices carrying summer to each threshold like a gift, like a promise. The town is not asleep. The town is waiting. By morning the streets are dressed in greenery and flowers. The old stone houses garlanded as if the land itself has leaned in close. And the people gather not as an audience, as participants. And this is the crucial thing about Padstow on May Day. Everyone belongs to it. Children who grew up here and moved away come back. Loyalties run deep, passed down through families like a second bloodline. Because there are 2 Osses in Padstow, the Old Oss and the Blue Ribbon Oss, each with its own procession, its own fierce following, same fire, different colours. And on this one day they fill the town together. Then the Oss appears, and it's not what you might expect. It's not pretty, and it's not decorative. A great black hoop of a skirt, nearly 6 feet across, spinning and lurching through the narrow streets, a grotesque snapping mask, a tall pointed hat. Somewhere inside it, hidden completely, a person, and yet the creature seems to have its own life, its own willfulness, responding to the crowd, to the music, to something older than either. Before it dances the teaser, a figure in white carrying a club, coaxing and provoking, keeping the Oss in motion. And around them both the crowd sing, not watching the singing, doing the singing. The May song, known by everyone, carried in the body since childhood. In those narrow streets, the sound has nowhere to go but inwards. And this is what Beltane does, perhaps, when it's fully alive. It doesn't divide a community into performers and witnesses. It makes everyone a participant in the same turning. And then, at certain moments throughout the day, something shifts. The music slows, darkens, the Oss begins to sink lower and lower, as if the life is going out of it. The song changes. It drops into a minor key. For a moment, the whole day holds its breath. Winter is not gone. It's never simply gone. It has to be faced each time, in the body, in the crowd, in the held breath of the street. And then the music surges, the Oss rises, summer insists on returning. And this happens again and again throughout the day. Death and return, death and return. The whole of Beltane's meaning compressed into a single gesture, repeated in the streets of a Cornish fishing town until it becomes not a symbol but a felt truth. Winter loosens, summer comes through, the land is renewed, and the people who have sung it into being go home carrying something they cannot quite name. There is a word sometimes used about Padstow on May Day, that it belongs to itself. Visitors come, of course they do, and they are welcome, but they are guests at something that does not require them. The town would do this, regardless. It has done in some form for longer than anyone can trace with certainty. The roots go down into the ground that history can't fully illuminate, and perhaps that is part of the power of it. That it continues not because it's understood, but because it's loved. Because the people of Padstow know in their bodies that summer must be sung in, that the Oss must rise, that the May song must be carried to every door in the darkness before dawn. Community, the old traditions seem to say, is not simply people living near one another. It's people who share a fire, who know the same song, who hold their breath together when the Oss sinks down, and who feel the same release when it rises. In Padstow, on the 1st of May, that has not been forgotten. And we travel north now, a long way north. From those narrow Cornish streets to the open hills of Scotland, where Beltane was celebrated in a different key entirely, not in a town, not in a crowd, but on a hilltop, in near silence, with an almost unbearable degree of care. In Scotland, Beltane begins before the fire. It begins with choosing, with asking who is worthy to carry this task, because not everyone can. The flame that will light the Beltane fires across the hills is not simply struck, it's invited, and it will only come through hands that are ready to receive it. 9 sacred trees must be gathered for the wood, 9 men chosen to kindle it, or a multiple of 9, the number itself carrying something of the sacred, something of completeness. Sometimes as many as 81 men would gather on the hilltop in the darkness before dawn. They had to be good men, honourable men. This wasn't a ceremony, this was requirement. The flame was a gift of the gods, and it would not come through those who had not earned the right to ask for it. They worked in turns, spinning a piece of wood through a hole in a plank. The old way, the slow way, the way that requires patience and attention, and the willingness to keep going when nothing seems to be happening. And then, a spark. The moment the first spark appeared, they were ready. A species of fungus was pressed close, agaric, gathered from the bark of old birch trees, dry and combustible beyond what seems natural. And the spark caught, and the flame came. Not slowly, suddenly, as if it had always been there, waiting just behind the darkness, needing only the right conditions, the right hands, the right asking. And there's something in that image worth pausing on. the long, patient work of the spinning, the faithfulness of it, each man taking his turn, nothing seeming to happen. And then the threshold moment, the spark, the fungus, the flame appearing as if from nowhere, as if by magic, which perhaps it was, which perhaps it is, whenever something long and quietly tended suddenly becomes real. And from that one flame on the hill, the Beltane fires were lit, 2 of them burning close together in the darkness, and then the cattle were brought. They were driven between the twin fires through the narrow corridor of heat and light, the flames on either side, not as punishment, as blessing. The fire that had been so carefully, so worthily kindled, now purified everything that passed through it. Livestock, people, the whole community moving through the gate that the sacred flame had made. And from those hilltop fires, each household would carry an ember home to kindle the new fire on their own hearth. The same fire, divided and carried down into the valley, into every home, connecting each family to the flame that had been earned on the hill. One spark, 81 careful men, an entire community renewed. South again now, and west, into Wales, where Beltane took on a different character again, less austere than the Scottish hills, less communal than Padstow's singing streets, more theatrical, more playful, and in its own way more honest about what the season actually requires. In Wales, summer had to be fought for, and not metaphorically. In villages across the country on the 1st of May, 2 armies would form in the street, and summer would have to win its place in the world through combat, or something close enough to combat, that everyone went home with bruises and laughter in equal measures. 2 captains, 2 companies of men and boys, and between them the whole drama of the turning year played out in a village street. Winter came first, perhaps because winter was not yet ready to leave. His captain wore a long coat trimmed with fur, a hat to match. He carried a stout blackthorn stick, the dark thorned wood that belongs to the cold months, and a shield studded with tufts of white wool, snow made visible, the winter insisting on itself. His men wore fur and wool. They were not ashamed of what they represented. Winter never is. And then summer. His captain in a white smock, bright with garlands of flowers, a broad-brimmed hat wreathed in blossom, a willow wand tied with ribbons. Where winter was dark and heavy, summer was light, adorned, carrying the land's own flowering as its weapon. The battle began. Winter struck first, straw and wood flung at the summer men, who answered with birch branches and willow wands and young ferns, the greenest weapons imaginable. There was shouting, there was laughter, there was, by all accounts, a great deal of horseplay that probably bore little resemblance to any orderly military engagement. But the outcome was never in doubt. It couldn't be. That was the point. This wasn't a contest that might go either way. It wasn't a drama with genuine suspense about its ending. Everyone in the village knew how it would finish before the first blow was struck. Summer would win. Summer always wins. And yet the fight had to happen. Winter had to be met, engaged, pushed back. The turning of the year was not something that happened to the village. It was something the village did, together, with their bodies and their noise and their willingness to stand in the street on a May morning and fight for the warmth that was coming. And there's something honest in that, an acknowledgement that transitions cost something, that you don't simply wake one morning and find yourself on the other side of a threshold. You cross it, you work for it, and sometimes you have to be a little ridiculous in the crossing. And then summer won, and the captain of summer chose his May king from amongst the men, and the people chose their May queen, and they were crowned with flowers, with greenery, with the full ceremony that a victory earns, and led back through the village in triumph. The bride of the earth and the green man of the blossoming year, reunited, summer restored. The village had done it again. 3 places, 3 ways of doing the same essential thing. In a Cornish fishing town, the community gathers in the darkness and sings summer to every door. In the Scottish hills, chosen men earn their sacred flame through patience and worthy hands. In a Welsh village, 2 armies meet in the street and summer wins because it must, because everyone agrees that it must, because the alternative is unthinkable. Cornwall, Scotland, Wales. 3 coastlines, 3 landscapes. Once 3 living languages carried these stories in their own words, in their own mouths, passed down not through books, but through doing, through the body, through the street, through the held breath of a crowd watching an oss sink down on a Cornish May morning and rise again. What connects them is not the details, it's the insistence. The insistence that the turning of the year is not something that happens to us, that summer doesn't simply arrive while we're indoors, while we're distracted, while we're getting on with things. It has to be sung in, earned, fought for. The old traditions seem to have understood something about the relationship between human attention and the natural world, that the world calls for our participation, not merely our observation. And here's a thing worth sitting with as May Day comes around again. Padstow still does this. Today, on the 1st of May, the night song moves through those streets. The Oss rises and falls and rises. The May song is in the mouths of people who learned it before they could read. The flame can still be earned by worthy hands. Summer can still be fought for. You don't need to be in a Cornish fishing town or on a Scottish hilltop or in a Welsh village to participate in what these stories are pointing toward. You need only to step outside on a May morning and notice that the land is doing something, that the hawthorn is white with blossom, that the light is different, that something has shifted in the air, and to feel, even briefly, that this turning matters, that you are part of it. And that is perhaps what the old traditions were always really doing, not preserving the past, practicing presence. Thank you for listening to At the Field's Edge, and I'll be back at the next turning of the wheel.
Rise up, and let the May in, for summer is come to the door. Rise up, and let the May in, as it has come before. The hawthorn is white on the hill tonight. The blossom is out on the bough. The fires are lit on the high places. The summer is with us now. Rise up, and let the May in, for summer is come to the door. Rise up, and let the May in, as it has come before. We walk dark of the April night, we sang to the sleeping town. We carried the green of the coming year and laid it at every door down. Rise up, and let the May in, for summer is come to the door. Rise up, and let the May in, as it has come before. The Oss